So I'm filming this video as my vlogmas day 4 is going on, and this is my day 5 video. I was late. I was not feeling good last night to get the vlogmas 4 video out. I will be making sure that I'm on schedule. So I'm gonna film this video now and talk about my experience with COVID. COVID has been horrible for literally everybody in the world except for the billionaires and corporations. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my experience with COVID, my personal experience when I had COVID, when I knew people who had COVID, people passing away from COVID. It was very weird for 2020. Disclaimer, everything I'm about to say is from my personal experience. I am not a doctor. I have done everything myself by my choice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to take, and I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not telling you to go do something. I'm just telling you my story, and you can take or not take anything from this. I'm just sharing my story. That's it. 2020, let's start there. 2020, I had a job that I didn't like, but I was with a boyfriend at the time, and everything was going good. Everything was a little crazy, but like just busy crazy. We were just planning for the year, you know? My friend was getting married, and we had a bridal shower coming up, and it was my birthday right before the pandemic happened, March 5th. So I had my birthday, and then right after that was March 14th or the 12th, it was the pandemic. And I think the 14th was when my friend was having the bridal shower. And I remember that day I was so stressed out because I was the main bridesmaid, the bestie of the bride. I was so stressed out because I had to take care of all this shit. Great time, don't worry, Alex. I had a great time, but I was still stressed out. I just remember most of the people there were like starting to wear masks or didn't come, or like, no one knew what to think, because it was just like, oh, the whole world is in a pandemic, so what the hell do we do? So as time went on, my anxiety shot up like through the roof, through the ozone layer, through space, through to another dimension. Like, I've never experienced all this unknown anxiety in my entire life, and it was causing a lot of mental stress and mental everything. And during all this, I was still working. I was working some marketing job in an office, and then they sent us home for about 60 days. I was going back and forth seeing my boyfriend at the time in Orlando, and we were both working at home as well, and it was just a really weird time. It was really nice to have somebody during that time, but I know a lot of other people have experienced different things through 2020, like not being in homes, or being in homes and having a better life. Like, a lot of people had a lot of pros and cons during quarantine in 2020, but mine was like, I was just with the person I was with at the time and working, still trying to figure out stuff. Everybody was figuring out stuff. Didn't catch COVID yet. Trying to fast forward through 2020. I was in Orlando most part. Did Halloween. I did Halloween. I just dressed up as Winifred, and I walked around my neighborhood and sat inside and watched horror movies with my brother and his girlfriend and my person. And then the election caused a huge amount of stress. Everything throughout 2020, even not just election, like it was just a lot of stress, a lot of like uncertainty. Even George Floyd, I was so upset about George Floyd. It was fucking horrible. Like, Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, Black Trans Women Matter, Black Women Matter, Black Lives Matter. And it was fucking horrible what happened to George Floyd and all those people who were protesting, the silent protesters, the protesters who didn't fucking do anything. Just the whole news was just horrible. I had to turn off my notifications. I had to delete some stuff so I wouldn't look at it. Like, it has never been this bad in my lifetime. And it was putting a lot of stress on my body and my mind and my heart. I take everything to heart. It was horrible. Election comes around. I end up going back to the office at my job. I think it was back in May. So that was just like, everyone didn't want to go back to the office, but we did. And it was just like crazy. Still didn't catch anything. The election, I try to erase from my mind because it was so stressful, but that happened in November. Let me bring it back. September, my person broke up with me out of nowhere. Didn't tell me exactly why. Then came back and said he made a mistake. So I'm like, okay, everything was good. Thanksgiving was a little weird, but it was fine. Everybody was healthy and fine. Christmas rolled around. Everything was cool. No one was sick. I really can't think of anything else, like, tragic what happened, like, personally for me, like, what happened in 2020. Like, I was just mainly, like, stress and, like, what can I do? What can I not do? When is this gonna be over? Like, it was just a constant, like, exhaustion of all this COVID shit. So Christmas happens, and then New Year's happens, and it's 2021. So we're in January 2021. I get broken up with again. And then I got COVID from my work. And COVID was an experience. Luckily, I didn't give it to anybody, and luckily I didn't have a severe case. I was very, very lucky. I'm normally a very healthy person. My symptoms were no fever, but my fever, I felt like it was dyslexic. And it went not to my head, but to my toes. There is a thing called COVID toes. Look it up. I'm not gonna put a picture here. COVID toes was horrible. Like, you could not get them hot. You could not put them in the shower. They were constantly itchy. I had a brain fog for 2 days, really, really bad. And I thought I just had a headache from work and from like crying because I had a breakup and I was furious. So I guess my immune system went down and I got COVID. I got it from work though. So I had COVID from January like 10th to February, like the end of February, for 27 days. I remember that number. I had it for 27 days. I worked from home still while I had COVID because Florida discontinued the law of if you have COVID, then you're paid 2 weeks. And since it was 2021, they discontinued it. They only had it for 2020. And so I had to use my PTO. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna work, I guess. Like, and I was at home, so I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. Even having COVID mentally was the worst thing ever. It was so bad. Luckily, I had a separate bathroom from my roommate, and she never got it either, so that was great. And we tried to keep things all separate, and I just stayed in my room for 27 days. I know, like, after a certain amount of days, you're not contagious, and you can go out, and da-da-da-da, but with my anxiety, it was the worst thing ever. It was so bad. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere until I got a negative test. I took a few tests, like I took 3 or 4 tests while I had COVID, and on the last one, it finally said negative. I would say back in January 2021, the COVID I had was a mild case. I didn't cough, I didn't have a fever. I was very lethargic and tired, and my brain, I guess I still had some of a brain fog for like 2 weeks, but like the first 2-3 days was horrible. Like, it was like someone put like a ton of weight on my brain, and I didn't know what to do. I could still taste and smell things, but it was very faint. Like, I think you kind of get that when you have the flu too, but that's just my personal experience. I didn't lose any weight. Like, I ate regularly, I tried to eat healthy, and I drank a shit ton of tea. I ate a lot of vitamins. I did what I could to stay healthy. I stretched, I kind of moved around, but I stayed in my room for literally 27 days. Except for when I went to go get my COVID test. Just the mental state of having COVID was just so bad, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to affect me for the rest of my life, or like months from now, or years from now, or the next day. Like, I have no idea. I was just also concerned about giving it to my family and my roommate and my friends. So I didn't want to go anywhere until I got a negative test. Let me tell you, as soon as I got a negative test, I was out the door. I was out the door. Because things were slowly opening up and people still wanted to go out, and it was Florida, so you can't really stop Florida. It's just, this is how Florida is, I guess. And I went out. I actually went on a date with somebody because I was just like, I need to go out and do whatever. I have the antibodies. I can't catch it for at least 2 weeks or months. I have no idea, and no one can tell. Back then, like, this is also today, it's December 5th, 6th of 2021. I had this literally 12 months ago. I went out, and it was really weird because a lot of people weren't wearing masks and just didn't care, just like now. Like, but when I went out, like, I was so scared to go out, but I was also like, I need to just go. I need to just YOLO this shit, because I was going insane. Humans are not supposed to be locked indoors all the time. Like, I like staying indoors, but I also need to get out and experience things and talk to people. Like, I'm a very introverted person, but I'm also a very extroverted person. I'm very 50-50. So there's that. It was just interesting to see a lot of people out, and I'm like, I just had COVID. Any of these people could have COVID. And it was right before everyone could get the vaccine, or everyone was slowly getting the vaccine, because it was in March after I went out. I had my birthday, and I went on a date, and the date didn't work out, but that's fine. April, I got my vaccine. I started a new job, but before I get into that, let me roll back. One thing that I do recommend if you do have COVID, this isn't for everybody, disclaimer, and this is what just I did. I took some cannabis drops, and that helped me mentally and physically so much while I had COVID. It was just so much better. I could barely even feel the effects, but it just made my brain fog and my brain headache go away. It was amazing. Let me go back to April. April, I got my vaccine, got the Pfizer dose, started a new job, and then I got my second dose at the end of April. I felt way more confident in going out and talking to people and hanging out and going places without masks and stuff. You should still wear a mask, you should still carry a mask around. But if you're in an area where most people are vaccinated, especially if you had it, I don't know. It really depends on where you are and who you are. Like, now I feel so much more relaxed in the situation because I now see, like, we're going to be dealing with this forever, or at least for a very long time. And I just gotta stay healthy, and I gotta focus on my health. I gotta focus on my mental health, my physical health. I gotta watch who I'm hanging out with, make sure that they're good, they're not sick, don't hang around sick people. I've always been like this though. I've always been like, I don't want to hang out with you because you're sick. Oh, it's just a cold. No, I don't want to get it. Like, go away. I was definitely a germaphobe when I was younger, and then this just made me 10 times more. I'm not as nervous about it anymore though. This is crazy how this whole event that happened in 2020, technically 2019, but 2020 was the craziest, worst year for most people. It was just wild. But back to 2021. April, May, June, July, August, September. I feel so much better with things, like with COVID. Like, I felt better going out. I made new friends. I went out, I went over their houses. I feel like I'm a normal person again. But it's just, we have to deal with this crazy virus that has literally killed thousands and thousands of people across the globe. It's just wild. There's a lot of different things that are wrong about COVID, how people have benefited, people dying and going into poverty and shit. It's just horrible, but I'm not gonna get into that much. The news is really sickening and not in a good way. I try to just take what I can and not have all my notifications on, even now, and just go from there. Like, I still try to keep up with current events, but it's rough. It's always been rough. It's just 10 times rougher. It gets rougher as you get older. Fast forward to now, I have been on a plane twice, and I've taken other COVID tests and they've been negative still. It's been 6-7 months since my second dose, and I'm about to get my booster shot tomorrow. I want to get my booster shot because I'm going to Hawaii for my birthday. I'm planning on doing a lot of traveling next year. After 2020, I am literally just like YOLO. Like, everything could be gone in a second. Everything could be gone in one day. Everything that you worked for, everything that you've dreamed of doing, planned of doing, already in motion of, it could all be gone. So I want to travel so much. Like, I feel way more comfortable with the COVID situation. Just personally for me, I've been very cautious throughout my whole life, and I'm just very ready to step out and take more risk, because 2020 has made our life flash before our eyes, every single person, and it's just heartbreaking what happened, like literally all of 2020, and even this year. Even 2021 was pretty bad, but it's also gotten better for some people, and definitely for me. Personally, I'm definitely still careful. Like, I didn't want to hang out with my friends till I got my booster shot. I have no idea what's going to happen. That's the other thing. My effects with the vaccine, nothing really happened. With my first dose of Pfizer, I just got really tired. Like my body, like my whole nervous system and my body and my skeleton was just like really sore, and I'm like, I need to go to sleep for 24 hours. And that's what I did, and then I felt better the next day. My second dose, I was fine for the first day. Second day, I think I was fine too. Maybe it was the end of the second day and the third day. I had the shits for like a whole 24 hours. Oh! I had to go number 2 for a very long time. It was for like 24 hours when I had my second dose. So with this booster shot, all I've heard is, yeah, my arm is really sore. It knocked me out for a week. Like pains and aches. I'm like, okay. I mean, it can't be that bad, especially if it's, as of right now, today, December 5th, 6th, 2021, the CDC recommends everyone 18 and up to get the booster shot if you already have your vaccine, so go get them. That's really all I have for like my COVID experience. As you can see, I have a collection of masks as well. I have more somewhere. Take your vitamins, eat healthy stuff, get some exercise, just walk around for like 30 an hour every day. Get enough sleep. That's one thing I'm not good at. Brush your teeth, wash your face, wash your hands for 20 seconds. Don't be nasty. When you go out, just be safe. Use your best judgment. YOLO it up safely and have fun. Cause we only got one life, man. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'd like to be here for a long time, but I would rather have a good time. Follow your dreams, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next vlogmas. I know this was kind of a rough one, but this is what I have for you because it is the holidays and family gets together, friends get together, and you just want to be careful. Get vaccinated, get your booster shot, be happy, live your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.